used interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually two different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
No, I don't think so, no.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time, February 2025. Only 6 Premier League bosses actually held the official title of manager rather than head coach. Man City's Pep Guardiola, David Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025, there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the world's biggest sports radio station. It's Talksport. My name's Max Rushden. Alongside me, Barry Glendenning. Welcome, Barry.
Hello, Max. How are you?
I'm okay. I don't know if everyone gets the same adverts. I don't know really what the rules are about us talking about them, but does Richard Osman and Charlie Bigham sort of mildly flirting over fenugreek get you in the mood for 2 hours of confrontational, adversarial broadcasting that we're about to deliver?
I think it gets me in the mood for certain things, Max, but perhaps not 2 hours of high octane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it really?
I find...
Does it get your knees trembling?
Richard Osman talking to Charlie Bigham about... What was it specifically they were talking
spices, about? Cumin, fenugreek, and...
I don't know what fenugreek is.
It's one that's in the cupboard that you haven't opened for a while, I would say. Which, I mean, in a way.
Oh, that's how you've gone straight in with a reducer there, Max, haven't you?
Really? I didn't intend to. I didn't intend to do that, Barry. You have my apologies.
Oh, my God. So that's how it is today, yeah? Straight in. Studs up.
I am sorry. I am sorry. If it makes you feel better,
Look,
I'm not far from Fenugreek myself, Barry. So
Yeah, but it's
okay.
you've a two legitimate excuses running around your house.
Amin says, "Thank you for rearranging."
I am that. Well past its sell-by date. Jar of paprika covered in a thin film of grease.
But you could jazz up a dish, couldn't you?
Well,
you just need to find the right person to unscrew
I need
the
to
lid.
find the. Oh,
anyway,
God.
Here we are, everybody. Amin says...
I'm not sure how this show could improve after that completely unplanned opening.
Oh, well, you have my apologies.
I'm the toasted sandwich maker in the back of the cupboard that used to be quite popular, but now is just treated, and again, coated with that telltale film of grease.
Anyway.
Maybe I just need to have a bath, Max. Get rid of the film of grease.
I've been saying it for a long time. Amin says, thank you for rearranging the show to start at midday so that I can listen in. This is the personal level of service that you don't get elsewhere. Question from Patrick, who says... To
be honest, I didn't realise until about, I think it was about 9:30, 10 this morning that we weren't on till 12. Because I turned on the radio. I have a radio in my bedroom because of, you know, it's the only companionship I have in there, as we've already established. So I woke up to Shabana Hearn and Cass, and I went, Cass, get out. And I was thinking, what, they shouldn't be on. So then I hadn't read our sort of mooted running order in the WhatsApp group properly. So I used the extra time to have a bacon and fried egg sandwich. So that was a productive use of my extra hour.
Daniel says, what spices in the cupboard of the other Talksport presents? We don't need to go down there, do we yet? We might have some content in the show. Patrick says, morning, weekend warriors. Could Barry decide if I ditch painting my kitchen and upset the current Mrs. Reynolds, or take the free ticket to watch the fantastic comedian Mick Miller at 1 p.m. at the Fox Lane Cricket Club in Leyland? Cheers, says Patrick.
Mick Miller, that's a blast from the past.
I know not of Mick, but
Mick Miller, he must be 80 odd or more. You remember, he's bald, but he's got long hair down the back and sides.
So like Terry Nutkins.
Yes, exactly like Terry Nutkins.
May he rest in peace, Terry, of course.
And I would say Mick Miller, I'm told by producer Andrew that Mick Miller is 76.
76?
I would.
Okay.
I'm going to shock you. I like Mick Miller. But it is a blast from the past. I wouldn't have imagined, A, he was still gigging, and B, still alive. So fair play on both counts, Mick. If you're listening on your way to that lunchtime cricket club gig, I would definitely go to see Mick Miller, yes.
Okay, well, good luck to everybody. Good luck to Mick at the gig and to everyone who's going to Fox Lane Cricket Club.
He'd be the Stan Boardman, Roy Chubby Brown, kind of vintage, Les Dawson. But, yeah, I don't think he probably has a bit of blue for his cricket club lunchtime show. But
I see.
Yeah, he was a opportunity knocks, that kind of vintage.
Right, I see.
Very funny comedian.
There's quite a difference between Roy Chubby Brown and Les Dawson, I would suggest.
Well, I'm just going in terms of age or vintage.
Okay. Gary says, you're the soda stream sitting under the stairs that's not been used since 1995, but still smells a little bit sweet.
Yeah, I just need someone to push my button.
Do you want to hear? I was going to ask you about the Republic of Ireland. We'll get to that. Do you want to hear?
Do you have to?
I did post it in a WhatsApp group that Richard Keys has done an interview in the Telegraph, and I don't have the paywall, I'm afraid, so I can't read it all to you. Jill says, afternoon, what a start. May I point out that Barry is not past his sell-by date. He has that sexy Irish accent, which is music to my ears. Plus, he's funny, Max. Best weekend show on Talksport for me, says Jill. Heart. There we are. Thank you, Jill. Anyway, I'll just read a small excerpt that got sent to me he's talking about some relationship change he had, which I don't need to go into, but he's talking about a Christmas day. He said, I remember one Christmas day, this is Richard Keys, the best Christmas of my life, in fairness, when I sat with a bottle of champagne, a can of tuna, and I watched the greatest... The Great Escape, Where Eagles Dare, and The Guns of Navarone, back to back to back. 3 magnificent movies. Actually, I've wanted to do it many times since. That is a Christmas day, isn't it? I'm not sure tuna and champagne go.
Well,
I
mean, I'm going to give myself a kicking here. I've had a couple of Christmas days like that. I'm not with the tuna. I don't particularly like tuna, but I have had a couple of Christmas days on my own, and I have to say they're quite pleasant. But the only thing I would say was I would have gone to the pub for a few pints earlier in the day. Then I go home, nice roast dinner for one, Death on the Nile or Murder on the Orient Express, and an early night.
Yeah,
no tuna though.
Tuna. Yeah,
that reeks of depression and sadness.
That's a bleak Christmas, isn't it? Shall I cook this bird? No, I'll just open this can. Tom is watching on. We are on YouTube and on the smart TV, and I've talked to the people high up at Talksport saying, like, make use of the visualization, make a reason for people to come to watch it. And what I've done is grown a massive spot on the side of my face.
Oh,
and
God,
Tom says,
I hadn't noticed that.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm not sure how I hadn't noticed it because it's absolutely massive.
Tom says that spot is growing, mate. There was a week when I was doing mid-mornings and with Bob Mills and Perry Groves. And it had I guess sort of get one every 6 months, one a quarter, I said yesterday, but I don't know. Quite, regular enough. You shouldn't have grey hair and spots. I sort of think it's one or the other, isn't it? And I think I did it a week, by the Wednesday, it had its own Twitter account. And I think by the Friday, it was pushing me for level numbers of followers. I'm slightly disappointed. I can't help it. I think it's a sign of great virility, is what I'm told. But if you're interested and you want to watch on the smart TV, you'll see it's just on the side of my face. It's sort of at the Cindy Crawford beauty spot area, I would say.
It is.
And that's not the worst place, because sort of the line of symmetry sort of down the forehead onto the end of the nose would be the worst. I couldn't be in my sister's graduation photos because I had a spot on the end of my nose that was like a seeping boil. I mean, it is an international break after all, isn't it? But what else have we got here? Hi, Max and Barry. I'm driving from Battersea to Belfast. Can you give me the best service station? Not sure. Matthew says, you two are cheering me up after the Republic of Ireland game the other night. I expect Barry feels the same. Do you want to do a minute on that, Barry, before we do some England and get irate about booing or Jed Spencer not singing the anthem or things that don't matter at all?
I was quite philosophical about it as the penalty shootout ended, and I've been getting increasingly angry about the Republic of Ireland's defeat ever since. We really threw it away, blew it 2-0 up against the Czech Republic, or the Czech Republicans, as John Giles once famously referred them to them as. And 2-0 up. They were absolutely on the ropes. And we concede this absolutely daft penalty, like so stupid and needless. Player running towards the byline, ball going out of play. I know, I'll pull his shirt. So that was Ryan Mann. Now is not the time for finger pointing or blame apportioning, Max, but I am pointing my big finger of blame firmly in the direction of Ryan Manning, Alan Brown, and Heimer Hallgrimsson.
Right, okay.
Yeah, among others. And I'm really sad, that the Republic of Ireland won't be at the World Cup, although I think their schedule, had they qualified, they would have been playing in extreme midday heat in Guadalajara and at altitude in Mexico City. So I
It's
suspect
just been 11 stationary Irishmen.
it might
sitting
not
down.
have gone well for them. you just tune in and hear their skin crackle.
That spot's been there so long, Max. I'll miss it when it's gone. Thank you so much. You're a really supportive crowd today. Be careful not to push that emergency stop on your face, says the Sizzler. Otherwise, we might get that situation of Baz being on his own a few weeks back. Thank you, the Sizzler. Attacking both of us. But, you're all welcome. This is the warm-up on Talksport with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Mark Langdon from the Racing Post will join us, and we'll do some England and some other stuff in a minute.
Join us now to look ahead to All British heavyweight boxer Dillian Whyte. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Dillian.
Good morning. How's everything been? Good?
Yeah, good, man.
Yeah, really, really good. You gutted for the Welsh last night for no reason whatsoever? Or is it just Gabby who's hammering them?
I have no comment.
Dillian, what are you thinking about this fight then? You fought both fighters, Itoma and Franklin. What are you expecting from Franklin in this fight?
I think it's a good fight. It depends on what Franklin turns up because, he can turn up and put on a good show and be a really good
David Taylor in Brighton says, Max and Barry show. Surely this should now be called Talksport. Thank you, David. Jerry, the Daventry White, says, your chaos should be forced to start at different times every week. The opening segment has just reset the vintage Rushden and Glendenning bar. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Dan said, would you like suggestions on how to get rid of the greasy lump accompanying you today? And what about your spot too, says Dan. Thank you, Dan. Anyway, let's do a bit of England with Mark Langdon from the Racing Post. Hey, Mark, you okay?
Hi, Max. You okay? Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, good, thank you. We're having a good time because we as yet haven't spent any time talking about that game with Uruguay. I know they have to happen, but that was a really bleak one. What do you make of Tuchel saying Harry Maguire is fifth choice? He's still there. He's still at the camp, and he said, he's going to have to knock someone in training really if he wants to get in.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of want honesty from the managers, and I think maybe with Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think he could go deeper into explaining that rather than just wanting, a slightly different profile, I think is how he put it. But, he's been very honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's slightly unfortunate, maybe a bit unfair, actually, on Harry Maguire to be behind, say, Chalobah, who was one of those players that was mentioned. I know that Chalobah is sort of more mobile, but I do think that Harry Maguire he keeps proving people wrong. And Manchester United are a better team when he's in it. I think he's a big threat from set pieces that could become a major part. I think in deciding games later on in the World Cup when you get to the knockout stages. So I admire Tuchel's honesty. I just sort of question whether it's sort of slightly unfair on Maguire.
Mark, we probably all have our own idea of what the first choice England 11 should be. But I was reminded of Pep Guardiola being asked once what his first choice Man City 11 would be. And he said, well, it depends on who we're playing. Should that not come into play? So is it wise for someone like Tuchel to have a firm pecking order for each position?
That Pep Guardiola quote has always stuck with me, really, because I don't think kind of enough of us, sort of normal people who like to, just think about it from a fantasy point of view, do, think about the opposition. I would say that given how there's 48 teams at the World Cup, and I don't want to sound like an arrogant Englishman at this
Oh,
point.
heaven forfend!
Sure.
There should never be an arrogant Englishman
Well, you know we're not
giving
like
his
that,
tuppence halfpenny worth on Talksport. You never hear that.
But I think sort of getting to the sort of last 16 shouldn't really involve too much thinking about what the opposition are going to do. I think once you get into those sort of later stages, then it will become about the detail. And I think that Tuchel actually is thinking along those lines. I think, when he's looking at that makeup of squad, you can sort of, he is talking, he wants Chalobah because he can, he's more mobile in those wider positions. Somebody like Konsa is, could play as a right back if England wanted to be sort of more defensive, particularly if Reece James is unable to play the whole competition. I think the really interesting one in terms of the sort of defensive setup is John Stones, way down the Man City pecking order. It seems like Pep Guardiola can't sort of trust him to sort of put a run of games together, and yet Tuchel has called out Stones, called him world class, and will be expected potentially to play 3 or 4 matches in a short space of time. And as much as I sort of would agree that Stones, when he's fit, is world class, I'm just not sure you can trust him to play those games just because of the amount of injuries he's had.
Yeah. I wondered, how much do you think it really matters who are, players 15 to 26 in this squad? I was sort of going through the squad and thinking, okay, there's pretty much, most of the players that are probably going to start or be kind of maybe off the bench. And then you've got another 10 and almost feel like Tuchel could draw it out of a hat and it wouldn't make a massive difference as to whether we win the World Cup or don't win the World Cup, with the odds of us not winning the World Cup like normal.
Yeah, I think when you get to sort of players 22, 23, kind of, to that level, I think a lot of them are there as much around, what's their, what's their table tennis quality like? How well do they play darts? How do they, gel and do all of the things that kind of, a Jordan Henderson, for example, really good in the dressing room. I think that does become more important because they're not going to see many minutes. But I would say with this World Cup, there is an extra round now. So if you win 3 group stages, then the last 32 all the way into the final in, I would say extreme heat, the squad probably will be tested more than normal. And the team that starts a World Cup is very rarely one that finishes it either. So there are always breakout players in any sort of team or squad. But I take your point that sort of the last few, particularly since it used to be 23, didn't, now we're up to 26, it probably doesn't matter as much. And I do remember Fabio Capello once bemoaning English journalists for the amount of time they spent arguing over who should be England's third choice goalkeeper, when it probably doesn't really matter.
Do you think Adam Wharton will make the squad, Mark? And if so, would you have him in it? I would actually have him in my first team, I think, alongside Declan Rice, but it doesn't. It looks like his participation is hanging in the balance.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have him in the squad as well, Barry. Don't think I'd have him in the team, but I would say that the mood would be that Tuchel prefers different type of player in central midfield at the moment. Obviously, you've seen Anderson has sort of really jumped ahead of him in kind of that particular battle. And then James Garner as well was probably one of the few players that really stood out against Uruguay. Has had a fantastic season for Everton. I mean, Wharton's definitely better on the ball than Garner, but Garner does get about the pitch probably and is more mobile. So it again depends what type of profile Tuchel's looking for in that midfield. But he doesn't seem to fully sort of believe in Adam Wharton. Hasn't given him loads of opportunities, even though there's clamour, particularly from Max, to start him at all opportunities. So I would say I don't think he'll start, and I think he sort of in the squad would be really a sort of 50-50 call.
It always always feels let down that my clamour, particularly from me, doesn't seem to turn the needle on any given subject, Mark. I don't understand why that is. Now, it is around this time that we forget that other countries play football. Who right at this stage, and it is hard because you don't know who's fit and you don't know exactly what the squads will look like. But I mean, I went through a spreadsheet putting all the results in, and I managed to get us playing the quarterfinals against France and the semi-final against Argentina and the final against Spain, which made me feel this might be quite a hard World Cup. Who's good, Mark?
Who's good? I think there is kind of a kind of big five almost, really. Spain were the best team at the Euros by a long way, but then you like how much Barcelona and Spain have played Lamine Yamal is pretty ridiculous, and so you're hoping he can go into a World Cup fully fit. But on the other wing, Nico Williams, who was so important, has been injured and was playing through the pain barrier from around September onward. So there's maybe a fitness concern there in sort of, I think, a really important position for Spain. Argentina is just really whether Messi, Otamendi, like the age of those players. Brazil are kind of always sort of spoken about. They look to me to be of a lower quality. Then you've got England, who've reached the last two Euro finals. But I don't know if you saw the French kind of starting 11 that they put out for the friendly win against Brazil in the week. And you look at the front four of Ousmane Dembele, Elise, Ekitike, behind Mbappe, and that is a front four. If you remember, do you remember the 2006 World Cup when Brazil had the Magic Quartet, the Kaká, Adriano, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo one, and it didn't actually quite work. But on paper, that French front four looks pretty formidable to me.
Yeah, and what's your sort of vibe on the 48 team? I mean, I was watching Bolivia come from behind to beat Suriname yesterday, and then I think Jamaica won, and they both go into playoffs, play Iraq and DR Congo, I think. And it is difficult as an England fan, I guess, isn't it, without someone accusing you of arrogance, to be like, for teams that haven't gone to the World Cup, so like Kosovo might make it, Cape Verde have made it, is an unbelievable. Haiti, right? This is wonderful, right? But will it be good? Like, because this third place thing means actually the group stages, there's just not a lot of jeopardy.
Yeah, I think sort of you start 48 and you only get down to 32. There feels like a flaw in that format, really, right at the start, that too many teams won't have to do that much to qualify for the knockout stage. It is amazing for the countries that have never been, and just being there, raising the profile, probably means that they'll improve as countries. Like, you can, I think, make a case for that, but I think a 32 team World Cup just was a more perfect fit in terms of two going through. It felt like the right level of the kind of representations from all around the world, but also with a quality level there as well. Now, unfortunately, I do think that the quality will suffer, and you might even see a few of the big teams sort of take liberties in the group stage because they'll just assume that they'll get through, and that there just is less jeopardy.
Am I right in thinking that one win in the group stage will pretty much guarantee you passage into the next round?
Yeah, it's been modelled in terms of what you need to qualify. If you get sort of 3 points and like a goal difference of 0, you'll almost certainly be there. I think where it gets a bit sticky is like 3 points, and I think it's a -2 or -3 goal difference. So one win and then just don't get thrashed, and you're almost you're almost there.
And just finally, Mark, we're talking Spurs in half an hour with Chris Powers, but have you been spending the week going just checking and refreshing to see what's happening with the managerial situation?
I haven't, Max. No, I've really enjoyed Tottenham not playing. It's been absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, if this international break could go on for about another month, that'd be just fine. I enjoyed my first weekend in probably about 3 months yesterday. So yeah, long may it continue.
Good stuff, Mark. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
Mark.
Mark Langdon there from the Racing Post. Jerry has done the same gag that I was going to do, so I'll give it to you. It says, it's a shame Mark Langdon isn't England's manager. The thought of Desmond Douglas and Cliff Lazarenko doing the beep test in Orlando's humidity would be truly entertaining. Do you get it, Barry?
I know Cliff Lazarenko is a darts player.
Yeah, he was saying, the 25th and 26th team, Desmond Douglas is the only table tennis player that anyone can remember. And so it's the idea that Tuchel just picks Desmond Douglas as the 26th because he's good at table tennis. I enjoyed the gag, Jeff.
Oh, right,
Jerry.
I see, yes. Yeah.
It didn't land with Barry, but you can't land them all.
I get it now. That was my fault. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're all on the same page now. It's Max and Barry here on the warm-up with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk. Currently, Chelsea 1, Villa 1 in the WSL. That is over on Talksport 2, and we'll do some... Oh, it's 3-1, is it? It was 1-1. And it's now Chelsea are 3-1 up. This happens all the time there. Adrian Durham must be absolutely bricking it after my score updates just then. Anyway, yeah, Chelsea 3, Villa 1 in the WSL, and we'll do some WSL next.
Former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has broken his silence on Mo Salah's impending departure from the Reds. Here he is talking to the Anfield Wrap about the legacy that Salah will leave behind.
Unbelievable goal. So he was part of the best front three in world football for a long time and was the one who always had the highest numbers. So that says something. That really says something. It's not easy to be slightly above the other two guys, and they have all their specific skills. But Mo was the one for the last situation. He wanted to have that more than anybody. So Sadio was a mix of both. Like, yes, he wanted to score goals, but he could have played midfield even. So that's his skill set. Bobby was the genius who didn't care about anything and could play absolutely everything. And Mo was the one who was really always the goal in his mind. And you cannot train that, and I don't think you really can learn it. It's inside.
The Talksport 20k giveaway.
At competition time, yes, it's the big one. Talksport giving you the chance to win £20,000 completely tax-free. 20 grand could be yours to win this life-changing amount of money. Here's what you have to do. Text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rates, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close on the 9th of April at 4 p.m, and that's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com for your chance to win. Text WIN to 83338 now. Dan says, yesterday you picked out a cracking stat from the paper. It was Bill Edgar in the Times about Roy Hodgson, who was alive at the same time of the scorer of the first ever FA Cup goal, which was in like 1871. That guy died when he was 96, when Roy Hodgson was 2 years old. Another stat to show the true scale of Roy Hodgson's career is incredible longevity. His first season as a manager was the same season a young Carlo Ancelotti made his debut as a player for Parma in 1976. So good old Roy, doing it for old people, isn't he? Yes, Barry?
Well, I heard that yesterday on the show, and it was interesting. But I was more taken by the fact that at one point during the show, you mentioned that top Australian pop star Natalie Imbruglia had, and I quote, slid into your DMs. And you said this to Charlie Baker and Lee Phelps, both of whom could not have been more indifferent to this
I know,
news.
it's extraordinary, wasn't it?
I was baffled by their indifference. And then I was thinking, is it an age thing? But I reckon they both are well aware of Natalie Imbruglia. They might not remember the Neighbours days, but I'm sure they remember the pop star days. I just was wondering if you'd care to elaborate on why she slid into your DMs. And
because you will be aware of my podcast, What Did You Do Yesterday?
I am aware of it.
My favourite Irish
with your
co-host.
other Irish side piece,
David O'Doherty. We were talking about Natalie Imbruglia for some reason, and then she sent me a message. Her agent really enjoys the podcast. I was like, maybe you want to come on sometime? So maybe she'll come on the podcast. So that's very exciting. But yeah, I was very excited, and she seemed very nice. So there's no more information than that. Anyway, in the WSL, now 3-3 between Chelsea and Aston Villa. It's over on Talksport 2, if you'd rather listen to that than people sending in comments about a spot on the side of my face. We have some of the goals. Here they are. No, we don't. Anyway, once again, you're not doing my hopes for getting Game Day Live any good. But look, Charlotte Richardson can join us. We can do some of this and some of the WSL from yesterday. Charlotte, how are you?
Good afternoon. I'm really well, thank you.
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting by banging on about absolutely nothing. So this is extraordinary. This game happening right now over on Talksport 2 is utterly ridiculous, isn't it?
It really is. And for Chelsea, this season in the WSL has been far from straightforward. And they went a goal behind to Aston Villa. And I thought, OK, this will be interesting. How deep can they dig? And then they had this resurgent spell where Lauren James does Lauren James things and she drags her team into a lead. And then they crumble. I'm just not used to seeing such a fragile Chelsea defence. There's a lot of question marks about what's going on in Sonia Bonpasta's squad at the moment. A lot of players who are linked with moves elsewhere, contracts running out in the summer. And it looks like perhaps some are already thinking of their next move rather than focusing on the here and the now. So, yeah, 6 goals in about 35 minutes is crazy. But it has been a weekend full of goals in the WSL.
Charlotte, Chelsea need to win this game, don't they? They coming out of a bad result against Arsenal in the Champions League on Tuesday, so the 3-1 down in the Champions League. Not doing particularly well in the WSL, and if they were to lose this, that would be, we're well into crisis territory, aren't we?
I think so. For a team like Chelsea, whose standards are so high, they were unbeaten last season in Sonia Bonpastor's first season taking charge of the team in the WSL, and many people will be familiar with the Emma Hayes era, and it felt like it was a really seamless transition. Perhaps a few kind of cracks in the foundation, both matters on the pitch and off the pitch, have come to the field. And for Chelsea, they won the League Cup final a couple of weeks ago, and many thought maybe this could be a catalyst to a strong sort of second half to the season. But since then, as you mentioned, a tough defeat midweek. It was a quality contest, I should add, and they were a little bit hard done by with a goal that was disallowed, which could have changed the complexion of that contest against Arsenal. But here today at Kings Meadow, which has been a fortress for them for many, many years, to go a goal behind, work themselves forward, and then give away these goals, it's so uncustomary to the Chelsea that we expect. And there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of investment in that Chelsea team, and at the moment they're not performing to the standards that they should. And there's also, just in terms of the body language and the reaction to some of the goals, particularly the third for Aston Villa today, a lot of shrugging, a lot of pointing fingers. Millie Bright's not in the team, their captain. Where's the accountability? Where's the leadership on the pitch for Chelsea right now?
Is Bonpastor's job under threat, do you think?
A couple of weeks ago, she was given a new long-term contract, and that came shortly after Paul Green, who was the general manager behind the scenes, sort of the chief orchestrator to the Emma Hayes era. He departed the club in quite bizarre circumstances, very unexpectedly so. So it feels like Chelsea have made that move and then said, we're back in Sonia, but this is Chelsea. And just because a piece of paper says that you've got a contract doesn't necessarily stand for much if you're not getting the results on the pitch. I really rate Sonia Bonpastor. I think she's an exceptional manager. She's a really good tactician, which is why it flummoxes me so much that they're not clicking on the pitches as well as they can at the moment. And there will be question marks. I think she'll be backed with a transfer window this summer. I think that will end up happening. But if this filters through to the next campaign and a poor start to next season and just the one trophy to show for this campaign, I think there will be some question marks for sure.
Man City are running away with it at the top, aren't they? And actually, even if they hadn't won yesterday, they still had a really good lead. But that win over Manchester United, I don't know if that clinches the title for them, but it feels significant.
Yeah, they're up to double digits in terms of the lead they have on Arsenal. And whilst the Gunners have 2 games in hand, even if they were to win both of those, it still feels like quite a turnaround to achieve that. Man City haven't had to play Champions League football, and so the WSL really has been a priority, and they are in such a groove. And when you can boast of having the 2 top centre forwards in the division playing for you, I think Bunny Shaw's scored 18, Viviana Miedemar like in double digits as well. When you've got that firepower up front and you're pretty consistent at the back, you're going to have a good season. And I think it's really good for the domestic game that we are looking like we're going to have a season where there's different teams winning different competitions. I think that's really important, that competitive edge, that lack of predictability, the drama that's being served. From Manchester United's point of view, a really humbling defeat at Old Trafford. They've really been struggling since losing to Chelsea in the League Cup final. They've not really put up much of a fight in any of their WSL encounters, and to lose to your local rivals in that manner on your home patch. Again, another manager, perhaps in Mark Skinner, who will be under some scrutiny when the season draws to a conclusion.
Were Manchester City expected to win the title this season, or have they taken everyone by surprise?
I think there was a level of expectancy when Andre Yeglert started, a new manager, some fresh ideas, some quality players, like the likes I mentioned, Bunny Shaw and Viviane Miedemar. When you've got them in your squad, you're always going to be in a title race conversation. I think the manner in which that they've wrestled that control so early on in the season has surprised people, and the fact that it isn't perhaps a very compelling title race in the sense that Arsenal have dropped points, Chelsea are so far out of it. They've really kind of glided through this season. But as I say, I do think not playing in the Champions League is a huge, huge advantage for them. But you can only play the cards you're dealt, and they've played them incredibly well. They've been, what is so important in football, no matter the level, no matter where you are in the pyramid, they've been consistent.
Arsenal beat Spurs 5-2. Alicia Russo getting a hat-trick. Took her second brilliantly. The third was hilarious as the keeper just passed the ball to her. But that's not a surprising result, is it?
No, I was commentating on that game, so if my voice is a little bit hoarse, that's why, again, another WSL encounter full of goals. But Alessia Russo, a hat-trick in the space of 22 minutes. And just watching her evolve as a centre forward who has played in a variety of different positions within that front line for Arsenal, she is world class. And she's fantastic on the ball. She takes moments. She almost uses the energy of the Emirates to be so powerful up front for Arsenal. It's her work rate and how she moves off of the ball that is so, so impressive. She was, for me, a contender to win the Ballon d'Or last season. She's at the forefront of the list. I don't think there is a player on the European stage, certainly, that is so prolific in front of goal, making so many contributions. It was a fantastic atmosphere at the Emirates, a third win on home soil in a week for Arsenal. They're building momentum, yet to suffer defeat in 2026. It's a bit of a shame, I think, from their perspective. They couldn't find the clinical edge in front of goal slightly earlier on in the season, because then they really would be breathing down Manchester City's neck.
Yeah, and doing it without Miedema. It's so weird to see her in a City, not in an Arsenal shirt, isn't it? The other game happening today, London City United are winning at West Ham, and actually that's quite significant at the bottom, because it's going to be West Ham or Leicester who go down, isn't it?
Yeah, so what is quite exciting this year is the complexion of the relegation and promotion battles, and in the Championship as well, there's a South East London derby between Crystal Palace and Charlton, and should Charlton win that, they will be guaranteed promotion, because 2 teams are coming up from the Championship, and then there's a third place available. So the bottom spot, which is currently occupied by Leicester, will automatically get relegated, but there will be a playoff between the team in that sort of second position in the above relegation versus the third place in the Championship, which I think is so exciting. But West Ham, they've really been dragged into it, and Liverpool under Gareth Taylor, they won the Merseyside derby yesterday, which just gives them a little bit of breathing space to not have to be involved in such a crunch match at the end of the season.
Thanks for coming on, Charlotte. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Charlotte Richardson there. Over on Talksport, 2 of you. No goals for the last 5 minutes or something, so you can all relax. Chelsea 3, Villa 3, still in that one. Jonathan says, guys, did Max say Roy Hodgson was 2 years old when the first FA Cup goal was scored? No, that would make him about 160. No, the first FA Cup goal was scored in 1871, but that guy lived to 96. So Roy Hodgson was 2 when that guy died. Is the stat, is basically the sort of, life, it carries on through people, I suppose. That was, I don't know, it was an interesting stat. Maybe I didn't articulate it well enough today as I did yesterday. And I should probably just not say the stat. You can't just keep repeating the same stats show after show after show, can you? But yeah, that's
you
what
keep
anyway.
repeating the same anecdotes and jokes show after show after show. Why stop? That's stats. Why draw the line under other people's stats?
It's a very good point. This is the warm-up on Talksport with Travis Perkins. Do what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
We're talking all things Harry Maguire. John is a Man United fan. Jonathan?
How are you doing? You okay?
I'm great. Very well, man. How are you today?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Thank you.
What's that noise? Have you just opened your wallet?
No, you have to excuse me. It's the police going past in Hereford, which means there's probably a cat stuck in a tree somewhere.
Okay. Well, just be careful.
Yeah, I'm being safe, mate. Hands free and all that.
Good, good. Go on, off you go.
Yeah, talking about Harry Maguire. So, I'm a United fan. Has he let the club down on numerous occasions? Yes, he's a bit of a Marmite player. But with regards to England, I can't think of a time he's ever actually let England down.
Yeah, good
point.
point.
Every time he's put an England shirt on, he's always done a job.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning on the warm-up on Talksport, brought to you with the good people of Travis Perkins. For the latest big trade deals, head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Jonathan says, listen every week. This is the guy who I corrected the stat that I can't repeat. From Dublin, living in Dallas, spent $1,100 on my England-Croatia ticket. Blimey. A stat gibberish, says Shawnee. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. I don't understand what that means. I should probably understand what these texts mean before I read them out.
It's a reference to Popeye.
Is it?
Yes. This is actually the second conversation I've had about the I'll gladly pay you Tuesday guy in the space of 24 hours. But Popeye, wasn't there a character in Popeye who would say, I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today? Just
I only know
bumming a loan of money.
It's fun to do. Spinach. Anyway, let's look at the latest odds of today's action with William Hill.
In the Zone on Talksport. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
And perhaps getting us nostalgic about Popeye as the two of us. Sam Norris from William Hill. How are you, Sam?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. Always a pleasure to be on the show, mainly because I never know where you guys are going to be. I never know what the topic of conversation is going to be when I join. Popeye wasn't in the top 100 on the list, but there you go.
I can confirm the character in question is J. Wellington Wimpy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sam looks much too young to remember. Remember Popeye, Sam?
Yeah, I do remember. I only remember Popeye and was it Olive Oil? Was that the name?
Yes, Brutus. Brutus was Popeye's love rival when it came to Olive Oil's affections.
Okay. I only remember those two. I don't remember any of the other characters. Spinach was his big thing, wasn't it?
That was his thing. Yeah, it was very generous of you, Sam, when you went, yeah, okay. Anyway, to Barry's fascinating information about Brutus Bloop or something, I can't remember. Anyway, where should we start? England, Japan. How do you see this one?
Yeah, it looks the starting point, doesn't it? England priced up at 4-7 to go and beat Japan, who were 9-2. The draw there, 27-10. I mean, you never expect kind of goal fests in these friendlies. Friday night was particularly drab. I mean, anyone who backed 0-0 in the game or even under 1.5 goals could feel a little bit aggrieved. The under 2.5 market here is a pick 'em, 17-20 each of two. It feels like the under is the play in that market. Japan only nicked it late against Scotland yesterday. So they weren't involved in a particularly high scoring game either. Both sides are heading to the World Cup. I wouldn't be surprised if it's low on the goals again. The one bet that I do think could be interesting in the match though, and just because it's low on the goals doesn't mean there's no juice in the goal scorer markets. Anthony Gordon, 23-10 to score any time here. I think that starting role is really up for grabs. Question marks about Saka, Foden, Palmer, Rashford in and around similar kind of positions. Thomas Tuchel's a big fan. He had a great goal-scoring campaign with Newcastle through the course of the Champions League. So he interests me at 23-10 to score any time. And we are rolling out Impact Sub on this as well, which is an interesting offering on a friendly where you know there's going to be loads of substitutions, plenty of them pre-planned. Once the team news comes out, you can maybe try and plot some of these substitutions and try and engineer a big price. So that's an interesting concession on a friendly game. And let's face it, we need something interesting to spice up these England friendlies.
This is going to be lost on listeners to the wireless, but Sam, can I ask, where are you? Because you look as if you're about to do the general knowledge round on Mastermind or ascend into heaven the way you're lit there.
It's far darker in here than I thought it was when I first down. I was trying to look for somewhere to do the slot.
Are you down a hole? Are you okay, Sam? Are you down a hole?
All the other lighting that's coming into the room, I now realise, is controlled on an automated system. So we've got windows that were bringing the light in, but they've all gone out now, so it's very dark.
Right. Does Lee Phelps leave the competition down a hole? Is that what Lee does? He says, down there, and I'll give you lunch later. Oh, poor Sam Norris is down a hole somewhere. Like, blink twice if you're okay. What else are we going to do? England are second favourites to win the World Cup. Oh, come on, Sam. We can't beat that. Here we go again.
The thing is, when it comes to England and major tournaments and betting markets, we're always shorter than we'd perhaps like to be about England because of the weight of cash. They're always just so popular. So you'd like to lay them at a bigger price, but you can't because they're just the number one choice for everybody in the betting. They're 11-2, second favourite. Spain top the betting at 9-2. which I think is probably fair enough. You know, they were comfortably better than England at the Euros. France are third in at 13-2. Argentina and Brazil both 8s. It's 10-1 and bigger the rest. Look, England haven't looked brilliant, but does anyone look brilliant at the moment?
Yeah, but come on, Sam. How old are you, Sam?
How old am I? 31.
Yeah, 31. Okay. So how many World Cups can you remember?
2002 was the first one I remember.
Oh, two. Okay. And have any of them gone to a stage where England are lifting the World Cup at the end of it?
Not one.
No.
But
11-2, isn't it?
11-2 still suggests that it's more likely not to happen than it will.
That is true. No, good point. Well saved. What about boxing? Moses Atauma punched someone really hard, and now what's next for him?
Yeah, it was a savage knockout yesterday evening from Moses Itauma. Very impressive performance. We boosted the price of him to winning rounds 1 to 5 to even money, so it cost us a couple of quid. It's interesting chatting to the traders this morning. They make Moses Itauma favourite against any other heavyweight in the world, bar Alexander Usyk, and even then, we'd make it quite tight between the two of them. There's an argument to suggest that he's, you know, even as technically proficient as a Usyk, he definitely hits harder. So that will be a fascinating bout if we get that one down the line. All attention turning to who Moses Itauma is going to fight next. It might just be the winner of Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley on May the 9th. That's a close betting heat. All three of them promoted by Frank Warren, so it should be a frictionless fight to make. But yeah, he was devastating yesterday evening, Moses Itauma, and according to our odds makers, the second most potent heavyweight in the world at the moment.
Sean says, is William Hillman stuck in that glass in space like the villains in Superman 2? Look, stay safe, Sam.
Yeah.
Get out while you can. Get out of the trap door.
Someone else's message, no name, but as they say, it was Bluto, not Brutus.
Yes,
what are you even doing on Talk Popeye?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll never get breakfast on Talk Popeye with that knowledge, will we? Thank you, Sam. Have a lovely day. He's gone away.
I'm not surprised.
He's
probably gone straight to HR.
They've shut the trap door. He can't get to HR. He's locked in a cellar somewhere, isn't it? Anyway, that was the latest odds brought to you by Final One Standing from William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on Talksport. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Every Thursday we'll be joined in the studio by rapper and Spurs fan AJ Tracey. How are you?
How you doing, fella? Not too bad.
Good. Now, we spoke to you on the phone before. I've never met you, right?
You spoke to me on the phone before, yeah.
Okay, do I call you AJ, Trace?
You call me whatever you want to call me.
But what do your pals call you?
AJ. Age,
yeah.
Okay,
Age. Nice to meet you, Age.
If we've had a beer, it's Age.
Age, okay.
Yeah,
we should do that, Mark, on Thursday.
Yeah?
Thursday's a great night to go out. Benny,
I heard the fridge is stocked over here. I might be here for...
Forget the fridge. We'll go across the road for a few. Can I ask what AJ stands for?
AJ, it's a multitude of things, but it's just a stage name that I thought makes sense. It sounds like a normal name, though. It sounds like a government name, which is why I picked that rather than one of these crazy aggressive rapper names. I thought something that will sell, something that a mother's not going to look at. Their kid wants the AJ Tracey record. They're going to be like, that name's crazy. I'm not going to buy the record. Just a nice, normal...
It's a friendly name.
It's a friendly name. Yeah. It's marketable.
Obviously it is because it works.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah. You said it, not me. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming in.
No, thanks for having me.
What are you up to at the moment? We're going to talk loads. I know you're big Spurs.
By the way, if I wasn't here with you, I'd be watching this. By the way,
how nice is that?
Of course I would. I watch.
Is it your favourite show?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely.
Oh, that's nice of you. Well, you're our favourite artist.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. You had to say that.
You know. Should we ruin the conversation by talking?
Go ahead. Let's do it.
You're a Spurs fan, right?
I am. I'm bracing myself. I am.
Are you looking forward to football in the Championship next season?
Look, the truth of the matter is, as a fan, I can't do anything about the situation.
Would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn rugby union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
Regards Sean in Redhill, suggesting we are to presenting what Les Dawson is to piano playing. Ian in Altrincham says, look, the joke was funny, but Les was in fact a very good piano player, or he wouldn't know which keys were out of tune. So there you go. And Anil says, hello guys, I'm really enjoying your show from Durban in South Africa. Keep it up, says Anil. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Wherever you happen to be in the world. Should we do a bit of Tottenham? Shall we? Sean Dyche was on the show after me and Charlie yesterday with Johnny Owen for 3 hours. I suggested that Johnny just ask him, are you going to be the Spurs manager on repeat for 3 hours? It did come up. This is what Sean Dyche said.
According to social media, obviously you were in London last night.
Brilliant.
Talking to Spurs.
That was brilliant. Honestly, I was in the pub just up the way near my place I've got down there. And this guy goes, oh, you meant to be in talks with Spurs tonight. And well, I'm standing next to you having a pint of Guinness. So I said, it's unlikely. I said, at least you work for Spurs and they're in the Seven Stars pub having a pint of Guinness. I said, it's highly unlikely. No, I'm not. I'm with you, mate. And I'm on Talksport. That's what I'm doing.
Let's talk to Chris Paros, broadcaster, Spurs fan. Hey, Chris.
Hello.
How are you? You okay? Are you okay? Do you feel happier now that Sean Dyche isn't in contention? Sorry, Chris, I'm interrupting you.
I think they might have knocked the optimism out of me, Max.
Is that it? This is the first time ever that you're not optimistic. You're not upbeat. Have you been? Have you been refreshing? Yeah. What's the vibe been?
Well, I mean, look, as fans, I think, we made a conscious decision before that Forest game to say, look, we're going to be up for it. Because actually, there's a battle here. And so we want, if we expect the players to come out and fight, then we want to be in that battle too. And actually, we're still in that kind of mode because, a relegation fight is a fight. But honestly, it's really, what a mess. It's really hard work. We've committed to showing up. It's all we can do. But everything around us, it's just like, wow. Wow.
You're giving so much pleasure to so many other people.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, someone did actually say to me they're really, really enjoying the fact that Spurs are in this mess and that Forest game should have been live on free-to-air TV for every neutral to enjoy.
Does it surprise or upset you, Chris, that everyone is taking so much pleasure in the very real possibility that Tottenham might be relegated?
Well, what's been interesting actually is that there is a great pleasure, but that actually when I see people one-to-one, they're a bit like, oh, we're sort of saying it's fun, but actually, we feel a bit, we actually don't want you to go down because we kind of like the crack.
Oh, okay.
And so not having Spurs in the league would do something else. I mean, I don't know if they were just being nice to me because they could see.
I suspect that was
the
probably
misery in their eyes, But look, we're in trouble. Look, Frank should have gone earlier. Everyone can see it. I think they held on too long and it cost us some points there. Then Igor Tudor. And look, I know last time I came on here, I sang him a song, again, being optimistic. But, everyone could see, and I feel for him. Look, he's just lost his dad and that's genuinely awful. But it was clearly the wrong appointment from the start. Anyone who's paying attention, and I wasn't at the time, didn't know anything about him when we first appointed him, you could see that he wasn't the right man. He plays a very rigid system, and can you drill that in such a short time with a squad full of injuries, with the players that we had? It just felt like square pegs in round holes from the start. And now if it is, time for him to leave, which it might be, and the clear front runner seems to be Roberto De Zerbi. I don't know if that's the case, and Igor Tudor's still our manager and all of those things. But if you go with De Zerbi, that's 3 in a row in terms of some terrible, terrible decisions, and you have to question that decision making.
Yeah, I love the idea of your friends, being so kind that when you are weeping and just lying in the, on the pavement there, they go, no, we don't really want you to go down.
We don't really mean it.
I think basically most neutrals really do. What is it about De Zerbi that you think is a bad appointment, Chris?
I think there's 3 things about De Zerbi, Max. I think it's culture, including values, competence, actually, and timing. So on culture and values, he publicly defended Mason Greenwood in a way that downplayed male violence against women and girls. And that's not a footnote. It tells you about his judgment, what he's willing to overlook. And, managers we know don't just build the team, they build the culture, what they say, what they tolerate, what they defend, and it all shapes the environment around the squad. And that matters, especially now, because this is a time for culture building and for unification and for bringing people together, not to create more division. On competence, there's, people talking about him like he's something good. Brighton was all right, ended badly. Marseille wasn't. Mutual consent both times. We know what that means. I don't know why we're treating him as an answer. And then on timing, it's just I alluded to, the squad's confidence is shot. We need someone who can unify and stabilise for these 7 games. And De Zerbi's incendiary, right? The dressing room reports from previous clubs are not encouraging. We tried a disruptor with Tudor and it didn't work. So, I don't know why we would do that again. And, why we would need someone who can work with what we've got. And I think we need a unifying appointment. I can't just moan and say, it can't be him. I think we need a unifying appointment. The players are not as bad as the position we're in. We know that. So they need they need characters that they're going to respond to. We need characters that are going to pick them up. I think you need a connection with the club. There's been a huge disconnect over the last, this season. So how are we going to bring everyone back together? And we know that Ryan Mason is ready and waiting. I'm not sure he's the answer alone, because you need someone with a certain sense of gravitas in that dressing room as well. I actually think I actually saw Gus Poyet at the England game on Friday night, and I think he's worth some serious consideration. He knows the environment. He can communicate with the Spanish-speaking players. These aren't necessarily flashy names, but flash isn't what we need right now. With these 7 games, we've got to survive, and then you can go to a proper process in the summer with real options. And I just think something like that combination, it's a vibes appointment. You need someone that we're going to get behind. Now, my uncle actually messaged me because he heard I was going to be on. Uncle Mike, big fan. Shout out, Uncle Mike.
Hello, Uncle Mike.
Hi, Uncle Mike.
Oh, that's nice. He'll like that. Thanks, guys. And he said, tell them Ange is the only alternative. He knows the players, they respect him, and he's got the motivational speakers to give them confidence and inspire them. So that's Uncle Mike's take.
Can I ask both of you, as people with an interest
Me and Uncle Mike.
Well, I was going to say you and Max, but I'd be interested to hear Uncle Mike's view as well. I think it was yesterday I heard Perry Groves talking about the Spurs situation. Now, I know he's a gooner and all that, but he reckoned that whoever is in charge of Spurs or whoever comes in if Tudor is replaced, the first thing they should do is bomb Christian Romero out of the squad because he's a terrible influence and he's not a good leader. Would either or both of you agree with that assessment?
Chris?
I wouldn't bomb him out because I think he is a good player, but I think from a leadership perspective, I can't imagine he's a great influence in the dressing room at this moment. I've got no idea, right? And that's why I'm suggesting that you might need someone who could harness Romero. Because I think, like when you've got a player like him, if you figure out how to use him, how to kind of get him going, then actually he my language. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Apologies. I meant it in a vernacular sense.
Of course, fine.
If someone's going to do that, it's not going to work. It's going to be even worse. So I wouldn't bomb him out, but I'd figure out how to harness him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe putting a harness on him at times would be the most useful thing. It's so difficult, isn't it? Because you just can't. I think that every Spurs fan thinks there's just something, because they haven't been relegated for most of us in our lifetime. I was at 77 or something. Most Spurs fans deep down think, yeah, we'll get out of this. And I just think that's such a worrying position. I know you're shaking your head, Chris. You don't. Like, they're objectively the worst team in the league right now. They are the worst team. There's not anyone better. There's not anyone worse. Wolves are playing better. Burnley are playing better. It is bleak.
I actually bumped into two guys I went to school with before the Forest game. Shout out Joel Romano, Paul Churchill.
Hello, Paul and
Joel. They were looking forward to going down. They were like, yeah, sack off the fifth tier, have a bit of fun, see some new teams. Because I think, again, there's some people trying to get themselves into that mindset because it's so miserable. But, the players we're better than the league position. So we need to be able to figure it out. And I'm just not sure that De Zerbi's the answer. Like, we'll stay up first. Everything else is a summer conversation. Comes to the summer, we'll have a million options for managers. And you'll say, oh, but Spurs are yeah, but these guys have all got loads of ego, right? So they'll be like, I'll be the one that can save Spurs. So, but we're not going to stay up with the wrong person in the dugout for these 7 games. And I think De Zerbi is the wrong person. If we all think it can't get worse, it's going to if we make this appointment. I'm genuinely saying this because if anyone is listening who's involved in any decision making, don't make it worse.
Yeah, I mean, they have made it worse. I mean, you do think about, above the manager, right? Johan Langer and Vino is actually their jobs must be under threat, mustn't they? After what's happened this season.
I mean, who knows? But it's been bad. I don't want to speculate about people's jobs. I mean, I know I have been about the manager, but I think because his dad's just died, I think that's probably for him to be too hard. I wouldn't want to come back to that after something like that happening. So honestly, like, big love to him for like what he's going through, and sincere condolences to him and his family, genuinely. But, this is a dire situation. And like, as much as I might want to say, oh, it would be fun to, I don't know, go to Charlton because it's not very far away or whatever.
Do you know what you can cling to? Do you know what you can cling to, Chris?
Yeah.
You cling to this, which is, this is how the season ends. Arsenal lose the league on the last day of the season. Arsenal lose the FA Cup final. Arsenal lose the Champions League final. And Tottenham stay up on the last day of the season. So it turns out that Tottenham have a better season than Arsenal at the end of it all.
I mean, Max, that would be what... I mean, look, I'm all for that sort of storyline. I think there's probably a technical term. Deep shit point, which is where we are now, and then you have the redemption arc, and that would be it. That would be beautiful. And I'm Hollywood stories is like Spurs are made for Hollywood story arcs. So yeah, I'm definitely there for it. What do you think,
anyway,
Baz?
Chris? I think, Chris,
I'm wholeheartedly in favour of Tottenham being relegated just because it would be funny. I think what a lot of Tottenham fans haven't realised is if you get relegated, you don't actually vanish off the face of the earth. You just go into a different division. You're still there. You're still playing football. It's okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Whatever happens, Chris, it'll be okay. But thank you so much for your time. It's always good to have you on.
See you later.
Chris Paros there, just in case any industrial language got through. We do apologise, but, these are bleak times to be a Tottenham fan. It happens sometimes. Jeff from Guildford says, morning, peeps. Just another piece of info about Popeye. His strength was massively boosted by eating a can of spinach. This we know. This was a device by the American spinach farmers to boost failing sales. They had a baby in the series that no one explained whose baby it was. She was called Sweet Pea. And there we go. Yeah, Wimpy bars were named after Wimpy the burger eater. So there you go. So it turns out that lots of people know a lot about more than we do and more likely to get the gig on Talk Popeye, aren't they? Anyway, we'll do a footballer game in just a second. It is Max and Barry with you on the warm-up in association with Travis Perkins. For the latest big trade deals, head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
Stefan, the cost of missing out on the Champions League. If I throw four at you here, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United or Newcastle, missing out in Champions League, who would feel it most?
Yeah, I think Newcastle would definitely feel it the most, just because the base they're coming off is that much smaller. So therefore the proportion that's associated with Champions League football is that much bigger. And they probably did something like £55 million of UEFA money. And then on top of that, obviously had the 5 home games on top, which are, or 6, probably 6 actually, when you, I think they had a playoff. So that's 6 home games on top. I mean, that's obviously very significant. So you're talking about 75 million quid out of revenue of, let's say, 300.
Hi, good afternoon. You are listening to the warm-up on Talksport. Max and Barry with you until 2 after us. What are they calling you this afternoon, please? Sam Matterface Perry Groves with us for the football game. Hey, Sam.
Hello, Max. How are you? I think we're back to Sunday session this week, aren't we? I think we are back to Sunday session.
Yes, that's the brand.
That is the brand. We've brought back the brand from one Sunday
people
only.
Have missed it. People have missed it.
Sam has walked in wearing a very fetching maroon and white FK Sarajevo tracky top.
How hipster.
Perry's gone for a more, is that gingham or plaid?
Lumberjack, I think you call it.
More
Lumberjack.
Texas. Yeah.
Texas.
Bit Texas.
Max and I were in Texas recently.
We were in Texas, yeah.
Everyone was walking around wearing shirts like yours, Perry.
Yeah, they all said, I want to, well, I sure want to dress like Perry Groves. That's what they all said.
I thought you meant the DIY store, Texas.
No, actual Texas.
Was that Mike Yarwood just butted in there? Here's one for the teenagers.
Crikey, that's about as relevant
What's happening on your programme, Sam?
We've got sounds, we've got smiles, we've got Stranger Things, Statterface, a bit of England chat, a bit of Roy Hodgson chat. The boxing last night, how good was he, by the way, last night at Tottenham? Unbelievable. And a little bit of Spurs chat, everything.
Well, thank God Perry's here. He's got it all covered.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Do you know what's happening, Sam?
I haven't got a clue. I do
yet,
now.
or do you just wander in? They just wander in and say, "What's happening today?" I'll read my words, everybody, and then he'll look at Perry. Well, I'm looking forward to it. What I'm conscious of is they just told me there's no 1:30 headline, so I really need to stretch the footballer game out for a good 10 minutes. If there's anything else on your mind, Sam or Perry,
well, to be fair,
I don't want to. How many hours have you got?
4. It's a sprint.
Holy smokes!
It's like half a show for us today.
Ah, okay. Someone said the Sunday session running order is 47 pages long today. That feels like a lot. That feels like a lot of content.
47,
and we're not allowed to print it out
Barry?
because it
But
costs too much money.
The Sunday session, we do go and plant a couple of trees because just in case, just to protect the environment. So the pages that we use, we do refurbish and restore.
No, that's good.
Digital only.
Oh,
look at you!
So
one likes to show
the
off.
modern man. Actually, Sam was lucky that he had a pair of mauve trousers. How many people have mauve trousers?
Mauve.
What are they? Purple.
Claret. I would.
Come on, we're better than clobber banter here. Come on, we're not. We're a level up.
Are you
really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get your trousers, Sam? Mauve trousers shop.
Yeah. Where's your hat from? Silly Hatland. No, you come on. That's other shows do that sort of stuff. This is the urbane, cultured program on this network. So you can save your mauve trouser chat for later, Perry.
Yeah, but I was just really proud that he's actually colour coordinated.
Are you talking about those trousers?
Yeah.
I would say they're more burgundy or maroon than mauve.
Say Sam's got the ump because he says they're claret.
Okay. On Talksport 2, Chelsea playing Aston Villa. If this isn't floating your boat, anyone?
Still 3-3.
Is
65 minutes gone.
If we, Ollie says, why are people in Texas talking like they're from Tennessee? I was pretty close. I was pretty pleased with that. Should we play the footballer game then, gents?
Let's go.
At last.
Okay, Tom Clayton hosting today. Welcome, Tom.
Hello.
Out of 10, how are you?
5.
5. Okay, fine, let's play.
Player number 1 started his career in the year 2003 with Ajax. He scored 7 goals in 97 appearances. He went on loan from 03 to 05 to RKC Valvik, where he scored twice.
Davy Klassen.
No, where he scored twice in 13.
Tongan.
No, in 2009 he moved to Arsenal, where he scored 13 in 110. In 20...
Vermaelen.
Yes, it is Thomas Vermaelen.
That'll do.
Thing is, Perry,
the thing
we
is, though,
need this to go quicker. We need this to go slower.
Yeah, but you don't realise the angst I feel in my body when you mention Arsenal, the pressure that it puts you under. You're right. I'm going to get absolutely battered if I don't get it. So
I'll be honest, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't think any less of you, Perry.
No,
would you not be able to walk the streets, Perry?
If you didn't get Thomas Vermaelen, I mean, we could have gone all day. I'd completely forgotten about the existence of Thomas Vermaelen.
Left-footed, centre half.
I can picture him now,
right.
but I wouldn't have guessed him in a million years. And I wouldn't have thought any...
But your drawing and sketching is very, very good again.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you need a psychiatrist to have a look at that.
No, that's the last thing I need.
It's a long rectangle.
Is a psychiatrist analysing my doodles because I'd be very, very worried about what he or she might come up with.
Might glean from what's on your page.
It's pressure on Sam here as a, sort of, I would say former world number 1. Surely you've lost ranking points like in tennis because you haven't played for years.
Must be. I've been stripped of my titles.
Is this not like Conkers that make me the number one now because I got it over
I
Sam?
think so. Yeah. I mean, you got 4 hours. You could do that.
Someone wants
me and Charlie could get a 5-year competition out of Conkers. Don't you steal it. Right, here we go with player 2.
Player number 2 started his career in 2007 with Cerezo Osaka, where he scored 55 in 125 appearances. He moved to Borussia Dortmund in 20.
Jisung Park.
No, where he scored 21 in.
Heung-min Son.
No, he scored 21 in 49. In 2012, he went to Manchester United, where he scored 6 in 38. In 2014, nope. In 2014, he went to Borussia Dortmund back again for 20 goals in 99 appearances.
Kagawa.
It is Shinji Kagawa.
See ya. I'm off. I'm done. I'm done. It was
there in my head. It was there.
This is all time for me to brace.
This
is Crookie's all time.
It's like, if 4 people say Jisung Park enough times, it's like Candyman, the film. It's like a different version of it. He arrives there in the studio.
I nearly said
Perry
Canada.
2.
That was ridiculous.
Perry 2. Barry 0, Max 0, Sam 0. Perry, you could get a hat-trick here. How are you feeling?
I've got an easy
suddenly the pressure is on you again.
I've gone back to my playing days.
Did you ever get a hat-trick as a player?
I've done my 2.
Against?
Both against Southend United. For Colchester United.
For Colchester.
Local derby. Big local derby.
You only turned up for the big games, is that what you're saying?
One of them was at Roots Hall as well.
Perfect hat-trick.
Away from home. It was for me because they all 3 went in.
Here we go with player 3.
Player number 3 started his career with Bordeaux in 2006, where he scored 6 in 79 appearances. Took in a short-term loan.
Benzema.
Took in short-term loan at Lorient in 2009, where he scored twice in 17. In 2009, he moved to Manchester United, where he didn't score.
Laurent Blanc.
No, didn't score in 27. In 2011, he moved to Newcastle United, where he scored 3 in 77.
Laurent Rivera.
No, in 2016, he moved to Anji in Russia. He scored 1 in just 9 appearances. He then moved to Wigan Athletic on a short-term basis, scored 1...
Emerson Boyce.
No, scored once in 12. In 2017, he moved to Levski Sofia, where he scored 5 in 59.
Sylvester.
No, in 2019, he moved to Erzurumspor, where he scored 8 in 71. In 2021, he went to Charlotte Independence, where he scored 5 in 15. He then had
No,
he took a year out, and then he went back to Charlotte Independence from 2022, where he finished his career after 12 goals in 66. His managerial career, he started managing Charlotte Independence in 2025.
Oh, wow. Wilfred Nancy? No.
Who
was at Charlotte? I thought Dean Smith was at Charlotte.
It's different Charlotte.
International career, he made 11 appearances for France's under-21s between 09 and 10.
That's helped me.
Yeah, thanks for that. Right foot to left foot.
There isn't a France under-21 international. I don't know. Man United.
Can you quickly make Newcastle, Wigan? Wigan.
Mark Cottager.
Nope. He's 37 years old.
What, now?
Yeah. He started his career in 06, so...
Thanks, guys, for spinning this out. That's good.
Wow.
Do you want me to give his youth career?
No.
I think Baz has jacked it in completely. He's not even doodling. He's not even going, got him. No picture, Baz, no? No, it's not coming.
I'm trying to go through...
This is Gabriel Obertan.
It is, but
midfield
that was
player.
an anonymous text.
Did he win the FA Cup with Wigan?
I don't think. I have no idea. I know nothing about Gabriel Obertan apart from someone just texted the name, and I was like, I'll read that out. So anyway, final scores then.
Mark, the Wolves fan, has texted Gabriel Obertan.
I think that's one of the best guesses that I've ever heard.
What? Someone getting Gabriel Obertan?
Yeah. Because if you see the glaze look in our 3 eyes, all 3 of us had no idea.
No clue.
But it's not just if he walked into the room. How long would you be living with Gabriel Obertan, Perry, before you realised it was Gabriel Obertan?
Do you know what I think? Yeah, I think he was slightly balding, wasn't he, Obertan, what I can remember.
I think he's really recognised. I can see him.
Quite a tall midfield player. Yeah.
Was he sort of like an attacking midfield player? Winger, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good stuff, everyone. Final
At least we're
scores.
pretending that we know what it looks like.
It's weird, isn't it, that no one in the history of radio has done. Could you vaguely describe what Gabriel Obertan looks like?
Oh, don't worry, I'm sure you will.
I've got an idea for a feature, guys. Could you describe vaguely what players look like? I think that'll fill 5 minutes on an international break. Nobody steal it. It's mine. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, my friend.
Cheers, guys.
Yes, and I can
you, Perry.
confirm he was slightly balding, or if bald, or had a shaved head.
Yeah,
because Baz just Googled him to try and prove us wrong.
Thank you so
I
much,
just Googled him to see, out of curiosity, see what he looks like. And if I was in a pub and he came over to me and said, "Hello, my name's Gabriel Obertan, would you like a drink?" I'd say, yeah, whatever, but I wouldn't recognise him as a former Manchester United, Newcastle, Lorient and Bordeaux footballer. I wouldn't go, "Oh, are you the bloke that played 7 times for France under 21?
I think you might now. I think now you'd be like,
"Oh, now
this
he's
is a coincidence
seared on my brain."
Well, I was just talking about you for 10 minutes on what passes for a radio programme about 2 hours ago. Hey, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Barry. Enjoy your programme.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Final scores there. Perry 2, anonymous man on the internet 1. Sam 0, Max 0, Barry 0. It is Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning with you until 2 this afternoon. Nicky Bandini will join us, Italian football expert, and we'll do some Italy as they are one game away from their first World Cup in 12 years.
You played in career in Japan, didn't you? World Cup in 2002. Did you find it hard, the weather conditions to play in?
They are tough, and in South Africa as well. We played a game, and then the altitude, the ball moves different and everything. And if you're not used to it, as we know, we all love to go on holiday in the summer, but playing football, running around in that heat and that weather, it takes its toll at the time, and we're just not a nation that's used to that. So that's one of the major things I look at when it comes to that tournament being over there.
What about strikers? We know Harry Kane's going to go, but if you looked at the Euros, he was injured, wasn't he? And Gareth Southgate was still playing him. Maybe he didn't trust other strikers in the squads. What do you think of tonight? Do you think Solanke and Calvert-Lewin have to put in a performance?
I think it's their chance of breaking in, isn't it? It's their chance of solidifying themselves in that talk of being the one to take over, because we really don't know who's going to take over from Harry Kane or what it's going to look like after he leaves. I was always an advocate for Ollie Watkins, because he just gives you something different.
Yes.
At times, Kane comes to feet a lot. He's fantastic at turning.
The Talksport 20k giveaway.
It's competition time, and it's a big one. Talksport giving you the chance to win 20 grand Completely tax-free, £20,000. It could be yours. Don't miss your chance to win this life-changing amount of money. And listen up for how to enter. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close on the 9th of April at 4 p.m. And that is when you need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com for your chance to win. Text WIN to 83338. Now, good luck, everybody. Max and Barry with you until 2 this afternoon with Travis Perkins for the latest big trade deals. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Let's do some Italy. They play Bosnia, don't they, for a place in the World Cup after they beat Northern Ireland. Nicky Bandini, Italian football expert, joins us. Hey, Nicky, you okay?
I don't know if okay is the right word. I'm anxious until the middle of week, then, I think.
Yeah. I mean, how much hope do you... It's weird, isn't it, with Italy? Because they're not as good. They're not like Italy in our minds, Italy, for people of a certain vintage, right? This is not a great squad. Is that fair?
I think it's fair and it's unfair. It's certainly not the squad of 2002. I feel like I've been saying that over and over again. For those of us of a certain vintage who remember seeing them go to what ended up being, depends how you want to call it, either a great fluff job in Korea or a great they got stitched up by the referee job. People have their own opinions on that. I don't need to go into that. But the greatest Italy team I think I've seen was that one in 2002, which of course had Vieri, Totti, Del Piero, Maldini, Nesta. I mean, it was an extraordinary squad, and Italy is nothing like that now. But at the same time, when you go through the team that they have got now, when you consider the season Tonali's having, he's been fantastic for Newcastle and was fantastic for them again at the weekend, is a brilliant midfielder. When you've got Nicola Barella in midfield, who's played in 2 Champions League finals in the last 3 years. When you've got Locatelli making up that midfield, who starts for Juventus. When you've got Bastoni again, Di Marco, more players who've played in Champions League finals with Inter and Barella. It's just not a bad team. It just isn't. It isn't as good as we want it to be. It isn't as good as, again, those of us old enough to remember those teams feel like Italy is supposed to be. It's certainly better on paper than Bosnia are, but on paper is not where football matches happen.
No, but I did think. I mean, Northern Ireland didn't have any cutting edge, but I mean, it was just two brilliant bits of quality. But I actually thought Northern Ireland's midfield kind of matched them when I was watching this, and I was thinking that didn't feel right. But maybe I was just watching with I kind of want Northern Ireland to win. With apologies to you, Nicky, that I was just watching it through that lens, I guess.
I think it's not totally unfair. I think especially in the first half, I think Italy were actually almost a bit caught off guard by how willing Northern Ireland were to play the ball. I think they expected this team to show up and not try to play them at all and just to sit there and try to cling on and score at the end. And I think if Northern Ireland had a bit more sharpness up front, if there hadn't been a few heavy touches, there were a couple of times when they moved the ball forward in transition really nicely. And I thought they could have created a real scoring opportunity. They sort of didn't in the whole game really create those scoring opportunities, but if they'd had that cutting edge, they could have done. And that is, it's worth saying, one of the other things that makes me feel this Italy team is better than some recent vintages is that actually Italy kind of have got that cutting edge now. Moise Kean, he's not Christian Vieri, but he has been scoring for the national team pretty consistently through this qualifying phase and scored again the second goal here. Retegui also scored well in the qualifying stage. Didn't look as hot here. And the one discussion going into this next game is whether or not he could lose his place to Pio Esposito, who's been fantastic for Inter, this kid basically, but who's got all the right tools to be a really successful number 9 going forward. So they've got options up front, which helps Italy. But I don't disagree with you. I think that Northern Ireland acquitted themselves really well in the first half, and it was only really after Tonali had scored that first goal for Italy that it did feel like at that point Italy did take a bit more control overall through the game.
Nicky, I see that some of Italy's players have been accused of arrogance and disrespect because they were caught celebrating Bosnia's win in the shootout over Wales. The assumption being they think Bosnia are a vastly inferior side and that they will be easier to beat. Have you heard anything about that? I think Vicario was involved and Federico Di Marco.
Yes, Vicario, of course, won't be playing any part in this. Somehow found himself at the centre of the story. This story has been doing a lot in Italy. This story has been front and centre, and I think a little bit unfairly. I don't know. I think. I suppose as an Italian, I was watching that shootout, and I have to be honest, I wasn't sure which team I thought would be better or worse for Italy, because either way, it was going to be an away game. And either way, I think you were heading into a hot atmosphere where it was going to be a challenging setting. But clearly, the Italy players felt better about Bosnia. I do think it's worth saying some of those players, like Di Marco, who we saw celebrating on camera, he's friends with Edin Dzeko. They played together at Inter. They have a personal relationship. So I do think there was a bit of that in there as well, of thinking, oh, we get to play against our mate, we're going to have fun with that. But Di Marco's come out in a press conference and said, listen, this wasn't supposed to be a moment for the TV cameras, but it was just an instinctive reaction and it doesn't mean anything. But I mean, I'm certain Bosnia will take that little bit of motivational source as well and use it. So who knows what that actually means in practical terms, but definitely it has had a lot of media coverage in Italy.
Nicky, if Italy don't beat Bosnia and Herzegovina, that will mean they have failed to qualify for 3 successive World Cups, which for me, as a kid, thinking back to the Italy of my youth, is absolutely unthinkable. How will it go down in Italy?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost at this strange point now where, because it's happened twice in a row, we've got past the point where it's this total apocalypse. Apocalypse was literally the word used by the then head of the Italian Football Federation when they failed to qualify 2 cycles ago. And that's what it felt like, because at that point it had been 60 years that we hadn't had a World Cup without Italy. It had been since the 1958 World Cup, I think it is. So it really was this extraordinary length of time that Italy would always be there. And the idea that they wouldn't be there was totally unthinkable. But now, again, there's been a whole generation that hasn't seen Italy really yet in a World Cup. It almost feels like the reaction would be less shocked. There'd be plenty of condemnation. There'd be plenty of criticism. There'd be lots of people who'd lose their jobs. There'd be footballers who'd never hear the end of it. But there is certainly a fatalistic part of the country, I think, that almost expects it to happen, that almost expects them at this point to blow it again. And it's one of the things that's been said a bit in the coverage in the last few days. I think Italy might actually be happy that they're playing away from home in this in this final, because actually the last 2 cycles against Sweden, they couldn't win at home. They couldn't score at home. Against North Macedonia, they lost in Palermo again at home. And Gattuso in the semi-final specifically had them play in Bergamo because smaller stadium, fewer fans, didn't want them at San Siro where there could be 80,000 people and the whistles might start building up. So it almost feels like they're just getting out of the country and hoping to get out of the way and get it done.
Yeah, and then if they get through, that's the thing, it's so tantalising, because a group of Canada, Qatar and Switzerland, with all due respect, you suddenly go, oh, well, you could get on a roll here.
Yeah, I think that brings me back to the conversation we had about the talent in the squad. I can't see this team being a team that's going to win the World Cup, and I don't think that should be the expectation for this group. I think they should be qualifying for the World Cup. I think that's a given, and the fact that they're having to do it through playoffs again is already a bit damning. I also think Canada maybe are better than people think they are. Canada qualified very strongly, which they don't always do from that North and Central American section. So I think it's definitely a group that looks good on paper. My base of expectation for this Italy team, it's come up a bit. I do think they're a better team than they get credit for a little bit, but it's still not a team that I think has the right to any arrogance about going through any group. They need to qualify first.
And you can save the arrogance for the English, because we will win it again, Nicky, of course. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Nicky.
Anytime.
Nicky Bandini there, Italian football expert. There has been another goal in the Chelsea-Villa game. It's live on Talksport 2. Here's how the goal sounded.
Oh, ball stolen by Carpenter. And then there's the FA goal. It's in the back of the net. And Chelsea take the lead. That goal has been coming. And with 8 minutes to go, Chelsea are in front. Finally. We had a goal fest in the first half. Chelsea have had to be patient in the second, but finally they find themselves in front, and it's Jurgen who has provided the finish. Chelsea 4, Aston Villa 3.
Yeah, second Uskin with that. 4-3. Ollie Klink on commentary. If you want to hear the last stages of that game, it is over on Talksport 2. While here, Charlie Baker will join us. No Justin today. He's in an aeroplane, and on an aeroplane. And so Charlie Baker will guess the attendance after the last time we played. I think, did you beat me 5-0, Barry?
I did beat you 5-0.
Yeah. So it's a chance for me to exorcise my guess the attendance demons.
Or exacerbate your guess the attendance.
Or exacerbate.
Demon.
Exorcise or exacerbate my guess the attendance demons. Find out what happens in just a second.
Liverpool have announced on Tuesday the cost of attending a match at Anfield is going to increase. It's going to go up by 3% next season, following further increases in line with inflation over the next two campaigns. They've decided to do this despite consulting with the Liverpool FC Supporters Board, a decision which was firmly opposed by fan leaders. Liverpool have revealed that adult general admission tickets, which currently cost £39 to £61, are going to rise between about £1.25 and £1.75. Adult season tickets, priced at £713 to £904, will increase by £21 or £27. They say the cost of junior tickets and local general tickets available to those with a Liverpool postcode would remain frozen. Fenway Sports, though, the owners of Liverpool, have been in charge since 2010, haven't increased prices on the Kop since they took over in 2010. So I suppose the big question is why have they decided now to put...
Kev writes, these shows are brilliant regards to warm-ups.
Oh, yeah.
How else can I send a WhatsApp voice note booing people I don't even know or repeatedly shouting Gabriel Obertan in my car without being thought a madman? Go for it, Kev. It doesn't matter.
Go get it, Kev.
Go get it. Hey, Charlie Baker, welcome. What are you doing here?
I'm here to host, what was it called? One of your silly games.
Guess the attendance.
That isn't the only reason you're in the building, Charlie.
No, I'm here to present Game On Virgin Radio 2 till 6. All the goals as they go in.
But there are no games
from the one
on.
WSL game that's on this afternoon. So we'll play a lot of scouting for girls.
You're going to play a lot of hits?
All the hits as they go in.
All the hits. That's great.
I was just asking about Barry's got sore legs, Max.
Oh, yeah.
And do you know these sort of, I don't know what they're really called, but there's like, I called them sleeping bags for your legs. Have you seen those? He needs some of those.
Trousers?
That's it. I've always wondered what they are, Barry.
You learn something new every day. He's such a fountain of knowledge, is Barry.
I knew he knew stuff.
Just to be clear, I have sore legs because I ran 10.3 miles yesterday.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Did we ever think we'd see the day?
No.
When's the race? Doing it, Barry.
It is Sunday, the 12th of April. So I won't
Will you
be
do
here
the-
with you, Max.
You're
Have you
not
got
doing the show.
have you got someone in instead of me?
Can you do it, Charlie?
I don't know. So I rarely get asked these days, but let me see if I'm.
Can you do the show?
Because I don't
your
think
diary.
I'll run it quick enough
I
to
am
be finished
available.
in time to come in and do the show.
I am available.
Okay, great.
so,
Yeah, come
I
and do
could
it, Charlie.
But what we need is someone following Barry round with a mic.
No, I think that's that might be what you need. It's not what I need.
That's what he's really struggling now. That's
By the way, if anyone would like to contribute to my fundraising, during the week it went over £50,000.
This is amazing.
You are amazing.
It's amazing.
And well, it's not me. It's all down to our listeners here, the Guardian Football Weekly listeners, and various friends and family. But mainly, it's mainly listener money, and it's astonishing.
£50,000
50
for
grand.
Great Ormond. We should say it's not for Barry. It's for Great Ormond.
Yeah, I wish
Barry
it
only
was for
takes
me.
8%. It's very good of you, Barry. I don't take it,
I mean, I
Anyway,
do,
yes.
Yeah, I'd be asking for miscellaneous expenses.
Do you know what, Barry? It shows how in high regard you're held by listeners and people who.
No, I
know
think
you. No, it's true. It's
just
true. I think
people
you're
who
a
want
nice
to see
man.
me suffer.
No. People think you're a nice man and intelligent and funny, and you do good radio and write good pieces. So they want to reward you for that and say thank you very much for doing the run for them.
Well, then I wish they'd just give me the money because
that's not in
the
the
way it
spirit of
works.
it, is it?
It's going to the children.
Oh, it's children.
Great Ormond Street.
Oh, it's not just normal,
Children's
just
charity.
kids. Not just kids on the corner vaping with ADHD.
No, not little hooligans, ne'er-do-wells and ruffians. So anyway, thank you to everyone who has donated, and if anyone would like to donate,
£50,000.
Barry Glendenning, Just Giving.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. And Charlie will
Have you
match
donated
the final donation.
Max? I've not donated.
Do you know what? I haven't yet.
Wow.
And I was thinking, and I'll tell no.
And you didn't invite him to your wedding either.
No,
Max,
I'll tell you this.
if you donate £5,000 before the end of March,
he's got £5,000.
I will get the #1 bib.
He's got
for the
£5,000. Max
London
has got
Landmark
I'll tell you what I'll
Half
do.
Marathon.
Max has made £5,000 out of you before, Barry. I reckon.
I tell you what, because I did force you into this. I played golf this week with Juan Mata.
Oh yeah.
What?
And Juan Mata is I did. And Glenn.
I can't believe you've done a 2.5 hour radio show and you've not talked. I came up with a
We spent
podcast
half
for you.
an hour talking-
What's the matter?
Yeah, we spent half an hour talking about Popeye, and I haven't mentioned that. But anyway,
I'll save Charlie.
He does Common Goal, of which I'm a member of Common Goal.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But I have paid independently for the last 2 years to Médecins Sans Frontières. So Barry, you can have my Common Goal earnings.
Oh.
I will put it anonymous, but I'll say it's 1% of what I earn.
Wow.
You're not getting $5,000. Is what I'm telling you right now.
Someone really rich will be listening. They won't even know about $5,000,
Yeah.
Barry.
But you see, I think the #1 bib it'd be too heavy for this chest, Charlie.
I'd love that. Imagine
At the moment, I'm on course to get #2. I'm very much one of life's #2s.
Imagine the disappointment on the chief sponsor of the race when they go out. Here's our lead athlete.
Hey, let's play Guess the Attendance.
Hey, come on, here we go. Right,
Here we
okay.
go. Charlie's hosting. It's me v Barry.
Is there
Last
music
time,
for this or
Barry
anything? Is it
won
just
5-0.
it's just dry? Is it in dry?
No, it's raw. It's too good.
In dry on a Sunday. Here we go. It's England 1, Uruguay 1. Friday the 27th of March is an international friendly at Wembley Stadium. Ben White scored in the 81st. Valverde scored in the 94th minute with the penalty. Sven Jablonski from Germany was the referee. But how many people were there? Max Rushden.
God, I'm so bad at this game. 83,412.
83,412. Barry Glendenning.
83,413.
You've gone the wrong way, Regals. It's 1-0 to Max. 80,000.
How many was it?
80,581.
Yes, okay.
1-0.
Okay.
1-0.
1-0.
Senegal v Peru. 2-0 to Senegal, Saturday the 28th of March. International friendly at the Stade de France.
Okay.
Nicholas Jackson. Ooh. 41st minute. And Ismail Sarr. Is it Ismail Sarr?
Ismail Sarr, yeah.
Ismail Sarr, yeah. In the 54th minute. The referee was Jeremy Pignard from France. But how many people were there, Barry Glendenning? What was the attendance? Can you guess?
49,025.
49,025. Max Rushden.
I'm going to go 49,024.
You've gone the wrong way. It was 70,000 people to watch Senegal v Peru.
Justin would have showboated them.
It's 1-1.
Probably would.
It's 1-1. Reading 3. Wigan Athletic 0. Saturday the 28th of March. League One. At what is now known as the Select Car Leasing Stadium, but we all know is the Madstad, the Medeski Stadium. I wish I could say this surname. Ehib At-Shomhan. In the ninth...
Is everything okay? Is ChatGPT suddenly taken over? What's happening? We've only got 2 minutes left.
Yeah, all right,
I'm
getting on with it.
All we care is the ref.
The ref is Steve Copeland.
Yeah.
From England. About how many people were there in Reading, Max Rushden?
That's me, isn't it? How many at Majeski? 13,821.
13,821. Barry Glendenning.
13,820.
It is 11,981. It is 2-1 to Barry Glendenning. Barnet 1, Cambridge United 0. Terrible for the U's. At the Hive in League 2, Collingwood with the goal in the 49th minute. Martin Woods from England was the referee, but how many were in North Westish London? Barry Glendenning.
5,200.
5,200. Max Rushden.
At Barnet, I go 5. We took a lot. We took 1,800. So hang on. What did he say? 5-2?
Yep. Barnet v Cambridge.
What's their capacity? 5,199.
4-4-1-0. It's 2-2 going into
yes.
going into the final fixture. Arsenal 5, Spurs 2. Women's Super League in the Emirates Stadium. Russo, Blackstenius.
Hat-trick, yeah.
Hat-trick. Beth England scored for Spurs. Grace Lowe was the ref. But how many were there? Who goes first? Max Rushden.
At the Emirates, I'm going to say 49,000.
49,000 people. Barry Glendenning.
48,000.
Barry Glendenning takes it 3-2. Game on. Virgin Radio 2 till 6. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye now. Go get it.
What was the attendance?
46,123. I'm on tour between September and May. Come and see me.
Okay. Listen, thank you, Charlie. Charlie Baker on Virgin Radio from 2.
He's just left our studio so quick. There's literally a Charlie-shaped hole in the door.
Now, what you need to do is listen to Charlie for the next 4 hours on Virgin in one ear and Sam and Perry for 4 hours in the other ear, and that would be great. Hey, Barry, I had a nice day.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, listeners.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, everybody. If you want to donate to Barry, Just Giving, Barry Glendenning. And thank you to everyone who has given him £1 or £5,000. And Sam Matterface and Perry Groves are next with the Sunday Session.
With Mo Salah leaving, a lot of commentators have talked about the fact there's a lack of icons in the Premier League. Obviously, last year we had De Bruyne leave. You've had, over the course of the last few years, you've had Ronaldo back fleetingly. You've had Ibrahimovic here fleetingly. But the big boys don't come to the Premier League, do they? I mean, Haaland is probably the only global icon that is still there. Would that be fair? I mean, Son's not there anymore. De Bruyne's not there anymore. Salah's going. Kane, Ronaldo, Zlatan, all gone. Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham, Messi, Neymar. They would rather play elsewhere. Why?
That's a very good question. I don't think there's as many superstars